We got a lot to talk about today. Y'all saw the headline. Jonathan Majors innocent? What? Now this is going to be there's been some new revelations, right? This is going to be very interesting for me because as y'all know, I said from the jump, I found it interesting. I found it absolutely interesting that when the Jonathan Majors situation happened, everybody was so quick to pile on to it. I'm talking everybody. The usuals, we know the media. We knew the media was going to eviscerate them. We knew that. But what took me by surprise was how many of the YouTubers were jumping on this case. And I don't want to say they was like assuming he was guilty, but a lot of people was like, nah, maybe that is what I want to say. A lot of people was assuming he was guilty. Now, I've said from the jump when I first heard it, without reacting to any of the details, when I first heard it, my first initial thought was, yeah, he looked like the type of nigga that'd do that shit. I ain't gonna lie. It wouldn't be surprised me if he actually did it. Then I went and reviewed the details, as I always do, because I didn't make no video saying, oh yeah, he did that shit. When I went and looked at the details, I said, oh hell no, this sounds like some bullshit. So I was surprised when I got on YouTube and I saw so many content creators talking about, oh yeah, Jonathan Majors is done, blah, 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 blah. And then when the chick came out and said that, oh, this is not how I wanted it to go, a lot of people was like, oh yeah, they paid her off. They paid her off. I'm like, what? And let me recap again. So you mean to tell me you're Jonathan Majors, one of the biggest superstars in Hollywood right now, the face of the Marvel universe right now, as a villain, as it would be, the face of the Marvel universe right now, the face of Creed right now. You had other movies, you had military commercials, and you gonna get in a taxi with your girlfriend and strangle her because she went through your phone and saw another chick. Beat her. Oh, by the way, she's a white woman and you're a big black man. Know how that goes. You mean to tell me that you gonna do that? Nah, I said nah. That ain't adding up. That ain't adding up. So we gonna review. As a matter of fact, as you can see, uh, um, you can see this person saying this is honestly disgusting. All of them owe Jonathan Majors an apology. You can see a lot of people on Twitter right now talking about how Jonathan Majors is looking mad innocent right now, right? So we're gonna go to YouTube. There's a couple of videos. I'm only gonna pick one. I think it was on the Cosmic Wonder. I think it was on his channel. I think he did an excellent job. As you can see right here, he posted. What's going on? Oops. He posted this 4 days ago. As you can see, it says breaking Jonathan Majors huge evidence of innocence, footage and witnesses. Reed says it was the same with Johnny Depp. Absolutely. Now, from the moment the Johnny Depp situation came out, I knew he was innocent because the details were coming out at the same time, and what Amber Heard was saying had no credibility. I heard about Jonathan Majors off the internet. So I was looking at Jonathan Majors, you know what I'm saying? He was an ugly dude back in the day, big ass nose. I was like, yeah, he probably smacked Shorty with that big ass nose he got. He probably did that shit. Then I got online and reviewed the details and I was like, oh hell no, this is some bullshit. So we're gonna take a look. We're gonna react to the Cosmic Wonders. By the way, back in the day, this is just a sidebar. Back in the day, at the height of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I used to watch the Cosmic Wonder, Everything Always, and I forgot the other Marvel channel. What is his name? You know, the guy that be like, oh, this is Charlie. I'm here to break it all down. That motherfucker there. And I also used to watch Comics Explained. But the reason I stopped watching them niggas, right? And you should stop watching them niggas too, if you still into Marvel and all that stuff. The reason I stopped watching these niggas is because they contributed. They contribute. They have a big contribution to the fall of the MCU. Big contribution. Why? Because these niggas do a horrible job of hyping everybody up, and then when people go to see the movie, it just falls flat. These niggas in their videos, and I know we're gonna get into the video in just a second, they be like, oh yeah, this movie's gonna have Galactus, the Fantastic Four. It's gonna have Elsa Bloodstone, Blade, Batman, Superman, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Conan the Barbarian, the Predators, the Aliens, all in one movie. And you be like, oh shit, well, let me go and get my ticket. You get the ticket, you show up to the movies, and it ain't nothing but a regular Captain America movie, and you sick. And now you blaming Marvel for not meeting your expectations when it was these niggas' fault. But I'm gonna drop a like on this video because I thought he did an excellent job breaking this all down. We're gonna play it. Oops. Hold on.
And today we have some huge news about the case of Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is currently in court defending himself against alleged assault charges. Most people know by now, but if you're not aware, Jonathan Majors, the Marvel star who plays Kang the Conqueror in the MCU, who also starred in Creed 3, was arrested a couple of months ago on charges of assault. His ex-girlfriend is the one who is pressing the charges against him, claiming that he lacerated her right ear and broke her right finger. Tuesday, June 20th, Jonathan Majors...
Now, I didn't know that part, right? I had no idea. Lacerated her. What? That's crazy. That is crazy to me. Hold on, let me run that back. He did what? At least according to her.
Charges of assault. His ex-girlfriend is the one who is pressing the charges against him, claiming that he lacerated her right ear and broke her right finger. Tuesday.
Broke her finger. So he just took her hand and said, get back in line, white girl. Broke her hand. Give me your finger. Yeah, get back in line. I'm the scary big black man. You want me to break another finger? Then shut up and get in line. Stay out of my phone. Yeah, fucking right. Get out of here.
June 20th, Jonathan Majors appeared in court for the very first time, where the judge set an official trial date for August 3rd, where he is prepared to provide evidence to prove that he is innocent. And we have a lot of new evidence that has come out today. And this is released by his official team. His lawyer released the evidence to insider.com, giving them the exclusive on this. And this does include video footage. And like I've mentioned, the reason we are covering this because this will directly affect the MCU. If Jonathan Majors is found guilty, Marvel Studios will drop him as Kang the Conqueror and they will have to recast him. And we've remained neutral while covering this news. However, I do have to say this evidence that is released today and the timestamps on everything that supposedly happened does seemingly support the fact that Jonathan Majors is innocent. Now, of course, we can't say anything for sure, but we will go over everything that was provided to Insider, which they have posted an exclusive article on that really describes in detail all of the evidence and the events that took place and when they took place and why this is in Jonathan Majors' favor. So hopefully, if this does turn out to be true and Jonathan Majors is innocent, he can stay Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I personally think he did an amazing job as Kang. And of course, I really hope...
I agree with that. I thought his performance, I just don't feel like Kang was in the right movie. Like, why would you put Kang the Conqueror in an Ant-Man movie? I don't understand that. And then you made him look bad because he got defeated by, like, let's keep it a bean, like one of the most irrelevant Avengers. Like Ant-Man is cool, but like he's what Spider-Man, like Spider-Man can do anything, but like he's small time, bro. Small time. If you wanted big time Ant-Man, you should have got Hank Pym to play him. Because nobody takes that super jokey, idiotic Ant-Man serious, bro. I'm sorry. But anyway,
that he didn't assault this woman. So let's break it all down. And if you want to stay up to date on everything in the MCU, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're also doing a giveaway. We'll talk more about that at the end. So as I mentioned, this Insider article is extremely detailed and I don't want to miss anything. So we're going to go through the entire thing. It starts by claiming that on June 20th, he did go to court. He didn't really say anything besides good morning to the judge. His lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, told Insider that they had hoped that the misdemeanor assault charges would be dropped by the Manhattan prosecutors because of the evidence that they provided so far. That did not happen, and they set a court date for August 3rd. But Major's lawyer spoke up and said that he was still very eager to prove his innocence to a jury. So Majors was arrested on suspicion of hitting his then girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, in a fight on a Chinatown street corner. His lawyer wrote a letter to the criminal court stating Ms. Jabari claims that Mr. Majors assaulted her in a car in Chinatown around 12 a.m. on March 25th, 2023, and during this incident, Mr. Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear. She goes on to state, "We have proof that this is a complete lie." She says that they have defense eyewitness interviews, phone records, credit card statements, and hours of surveillance and police body camera video. And that is a lot. That really is a lot of evidence to have in favor.
That is a lot of evidence, my G. Now, I'm like, okay, if they got this much evidence, then they should dismiss the case. So, I mean, at least my first time watching this video, because I had to review the video to make sure it wasn't no bullshit before I brought it to you guys. I'm thinking, well, shit, if he got that much evidence, they should just, I mean, like, dismiss the case, right? I'm thinking maybe it's some bullshit evidence. Because you know how sometimes, like, especially like when you got somebody who's a narcissist who don't believe they're capable of doing wrong, sometimes they think they have evidence and then you review it and it's like, bro, this ain't evidence, bro. Like, this is some, like, you really thought this was going to prove you innocent? So I'm kind of waiting. But like I said, the Cosmic Wonder, like, he did a good job of covering everything. He's fucking, so let's go.
That this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after that midnight fight when Jabari took a fall while alone in Majors' penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills. Now, Insider does state that the evidence that was shown with Insider, which wasn't the entirety of the evidence, did not show how Jabari was injured or didn't show the entirety of the fight between Majors and Jabari. However, it did show that Jabari's ear and finger were uninjured right after the fight for several hours, meaning that when people saw her immediately after the fight, and there is footage of this, she was not injured at all, which is evidence supporting that Jonathan Majors did not assault her. And here's where it gets really interesting. Chaudhry and Majors' team turned in video evidence to the court. This comes from police body-worn camera footage that was turned in, and it shows Jabari in Majors' apartment saying, "I don't know," 19 times when asked by arriving medics and cops how she was injured. So when the cops arrived and the medics arrived, they asked her, "How did you get hurt?" And she said 19 times, "I don't know." Then Chaudhry says in
So they got her on. So basically, they got her on video saying 19 times she don't know how she got injured, and then miraculously somehow, charges got filed. I don't understand this, and this is why people have a hard time trusting the police, especially if you black. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give. You know, I know we don't like to call racism. We don't like to blame the police over on this side, but like, or not the police, but the system on this side. Because I like to look at it from a what did you do? What could you have done better? But nigga, if you got on video this woman saying 19 times, "I do not know how I got injured. I do not know how I got injured," and somehow you still found a way to bring charges on this man, and somehow you still believe all of a sudden that, oh, you know, he did it to her. How are people supposed to trust the damn system? Let's continue.
In her letter that the NYPD footage showed the lead officer coaching Miss Jabari to accuse Mr. Majors of assault. She said in the letter that the arrest was racist and showed the officers questioning among themselves how Majors, who they didn't recognize as a famous actor, could afford to live in a luxury penthouse. Chaudhry then stated, even though Miss Jabari admitted to drinking to the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, and having no idea how she woke up in a closet with a cut on her head.
Just to clarify, what he just said was that the officers were allegedly talking amongst each other about how a black man in New York could afford to live in a luxury apartment. I'm not gonna lie. For me, I didn't really, I didn't really buy into that. But this is the girlfriend saying that. Reed says, I do like this kick platform better than YouTube. I do too. I ain't gonna lie, I do too. And then he also says the thing is that is in New York, they are corrupt as hell. You know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. What am I talking about?
That this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after that midnight fight when Jabari took a fall while alone in Majors' penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills. Now, Insider does state that the evidence that was shown with Insider, which wasn't the entirety of the evidence, did not show how Jabari was injured or didn't show the entirety of the fight between Majors and Jabari. However, it did show that Jabari's ear and finger were uninjured right after the fight for several hours, meaning that when people saw her immediately after the fight, and there is footage of this, she was not injured at all, which is evidence supporting that Jonathan Majors did not assault her. And here's where it gets really interesting. Chaudhry and Majors' team turned in video evidence to the court. This comes from police body-worn camera footage that was turned in, and it shows Jabari in Majors' apartment saying, "I don't know," 19 times when
I must have accidentally rewinded it. My bad.
asked by arriving medics and cops how she was injured. So when the cops arrived and the medics arrived, they asked her, "How did you get hurt?" And she said 19 times, "I don't know." Then Chaudhry says in her letter that the NYPD footage showed the lead officer coaching Miss Jabari to accuse Mr. Majors of assault. She said in the letter that the arrest was racist and showed the officers questioning among themselves how Majors, who they didn't recognize as a famous actor, could afford to live in a luxury penthouse. Chaudhry then stated, even though Miss Jabari admitted to drinking to the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, and having no idea how she woke up in a closet with a cut on her head and injured finger, the police jumped to the conclusion that Mr. Majors must have done this to Miss Jabari. And here's the thing, they have video evidence of this from the police body cams that they have submitted to the court already. So they have seen this. This is why they thought that they would dismiss this case altogether, because Jabari literally said, "I don't know," many times when asked how she got hurt. And it shows the police kind of coaching her.
It should have been
Mr.
dismissed.
Majors. This is pretty damning evidence and really does support Jonathan Majors. Now we have more evidence, but I do want to talk about what Chaudhry has said about Jonathan Majors. She said that he wants this to go to trial yesterday, meaning he has wanted this to happen already. He wants to go to trial. He wants to show the evidence.
He wants to get it. He wants to get it out of the way so he can get his career back on track. And I promise you, when if he's proven innocent and whatnot, and he's gonna have a bone to pick with so many people. You know how many people have switched up on him. Now we got to consider the possibility that this just might be par for the course. There's probably an agreement amongst people in Hollywood that like, bro, protect yourself at all times, because if something happens like this, I have to, for my career, publicly distance myself from you because of the ramifications. And maybe that I can understand that. Like me, if I was in Hollywood and I had a friend of mine, you know what I'm saying, who big star, something like that, and I get brought up on accusations, I wouldn't take it personal if they had to publicly distance myself. But what do you do behind closed doors though? Like, are you ignoring my calls? Are you don't want to speak no more because you think I did it or something like that? Like, that's where I would have a problem. You know what I'm saying? So tough predicament to be in, but
he wants to speak and he wants to prove himself innocent. She says that he is heartbroken as he watches his career dangle in the wind. And it really is heartbreaking.
This is what the ex-girlfriend is saying about him. So what I'm gathering from this, ladies and gentlemen, is that the ex-girlfriend is actually on his side or some shit. At least that's what I'm gathering. I could be wrong, but this is, what she's saying about him is positive. So I don't understand how the prosecution, Like, why would you take this case? I don't understand that. But they just want to they want to nail somebody. They want to put somebody on the nail. Let's continue. Hold on. Let me read this comment from amazing how a liberal state show discrimination and racist beliefs. Reeves just said something right there, boy. He just said something right there. He also says the fact that cops did not figure out how a black man can afford a place like that. My whole thing is, it's none of your business. Well, hold on. Let me not say that because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Here's the thing. Part of being a cop, and this is going to be fucked up. I'm going to go ahead and say this because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Part of being a police officer is preventing crime. And part of preventing crime requires you to stereotype certain people and situations. And if in your district, a black man living in a penthouse like that is normally not good news, or normally not like from working, you probably gonna discriminate against that. I ain't gonna lie. Now me, I live in Atlanta. So I see black men and women all the time who driving nice cars and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of them are absolutely successful because, it's Atlanta, but it's a lot of scamming going on. Here in Miami, it's a lot of scamming. So I don't know if it's the same in New York, but a lot of times when I see, like, I'll give you a prime example. When I see a black dude, right, driving around, this nigga got face tattoos, pants sagging, don't look like he own any type of business at all. But I see him and this nigga's in a Bentley. You scamming, bro? Do I hate myself for that? Do I hate my own people for that? No. I'm just going based off my experience. And my experience is typically when niggas like that is driving nice cars, it's not normally because they're a business owner or they just saved up money. And no, it's normally because they're scamming or moving a whole lot of drugs. I ain't saying I'm a snitch. I'm just saying because, and part of the reason is because when you're moving like that and people see, they think you working hard. Oh, he working hard. Oh yeah, you can do it too, bro. The kids thinking, oh, he worked hard to get what he got. Man, this nigga scamming. Credit card fraud, stimulus check fraud, just all type of fraud. You know what I'm saying? PPP loan fraud. Like everybody did the PPP loan scam. Except me. I felt stupid. I was like, man, shit, as many people getting away with doing this, I should have got me a PPP loan. Nope, I was somewhere hating. Anyway, let's get back into it.
If he is innocent. And let's talk about the other evidence that was supplied, and let's also talk about the eyewitnesses that they have. The alleged assault supposedly took place in a car as Majors and Jabari were being driven.
A taxi. Or not a taxi, he probably got a personal driver. So there's that.
Somewhere. And they state that this was not a direct employee of Jonathan Majors, but instead worked for a
never mind.
company called Black Lane, an upscale private black car company. Chaudhry, Majors' lawyer, said that this driver is prepared to testify in court on Majors' behalf that Majors never raised his voice or a hand against Jabari as they argued inside his car or after he pulled the car over and the dispute spilled out onto a busy street corner. Chaudhry said the driver of the car saw and heard everything, and now he is prepared to testify. To make it even more interesting, there is street surveillance video that was reviewed by Insider, and they state that you can see Jonathan Majors trying to flee from Jabari as she pulls him out of the car, and they state he is a big guy and she's pulling him so hard that she pulls his body into the car as he's trying to run away. And they say, and you see the coat rip, and he does finally get out. So Majors, after...
So I got to go ahead and give Jonathan Majors an apology. You know what I'm saying? I did call him dumb before for putting himself in this situation. But I will say that he was smart enough to try to run away from her. Like, nah, this is not a good look. I'm not trying to. You got to be careful with women, dog. Me personally, I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say because I'm not in his position, so I will say that. But me personally, man, I'm not in the car. I don't know. I can't say that. It's like I said, it's easy for me to say that while I'm sitting here. I don't know. Let's continue.
Getting into this argument in the car where the driver says he never raised his voice or lifted a hand against her, is trying to get out of the car. He told the driver to stop and he's trying to get away from her, but she is literally pulling him back into the car to the point to where the street surveillance video shows him being pulled back into the car and shows his coat being ripped until he finally does get away. And to top it all off, what's kind of funny is that a small group of women who witnessed the fight recognized Jonathan Majors, and the woman jumps on him, hugs him, and asks for a selfie. And he's so nice, and they take a selfie. This is what his...
So I want you to think about that for a second. This man just went through a traumatic experience. His girlfriend whipping his ass in the middle of the street. He tried to get away. His expensive shirt has been ripped. Not shirt, jacket has been ripped. His career is hanging in the balance. And some women who witnessed the fight on the street jumped on him and was like, oh my God, it's Jonathan Majors. And decided they wanted to take a selfie with him, and he obliged. He didn't say no. He didn't say, no, bitch, can't you see I'm going through it right now? He said, sure, I'll take the picture with you. Does that sound like somebody who out here just beating on women? No. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying we got to use our common sense here, people. If those women really felt like he was beating on that girl, would they want to take? Well, I don't know. Never mind. Women was out outside of the courtroom cheering for Ted Bundy. So never mind. And black women was outside cheering for R. Kelly during his trial. So never mind. Maybe not.
That this evidence suggested that Jabari injured herself some 7 hours after that midnight fight, when Jabari took a fall while alone in Majors' penthouse apartment after drinking and taking sleeping pills. Now, Insider does state that the evidence that was shown with Inch trying to flee from Jabari as she pulled until he finally does get away. And to top it all off, what's kind of funny is that a small group of women who witnessed the fight recognized Jonathan Majors, and the woman jumps on him, hugs him, and asks for a selfie. And he's so nice, and they take a selfie. This is what his lawyer said, and this was caught by the street surveillance footage.
All of this is on camera.
The footage reviewed by Insider showed Jabari using both of her hands to briskly fiddle with her hair. The lawyer said she ties her hair into a knot. If your finger was broken and you went to tie your hair into a knot, it would hurt. She continued to say she gathered her hair behind her ear. If your ear was cut and your finger was broken and you went to do that, you would be like, oh, what happened? But she's totally fine, speaking of the surveillance footage. And here's the real kicker. Here's where we dive into the surveillance footage. After this, the two separated. Majors went to an Upper East Side hotel, and Jabari went to a nightclub called Lucy's, which is spelled L-O-O-S-I-E''S. And phone records show that Jonathan Majors, not too long after he went to the hotel, sent her a breakup text before turning off his phone. But perhaps the most important...
So basically, what he did was, after that whole situation broke down, he said, nah, you gonna cost me my career. I gotta leave you. Sorry, you fumbled the bag. You fumbled the bag. Matter of fact, screw this. Yeah, let me do that. He said, you fumbled the bag. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. Make sure y'all hit the follow button. On Kick, hit the follow button. He said, you fumbled the bag. Why does it keep restarting? basically you fumbled the bag. And like he said, if your finger was broken, how you tying if your finger broken and your ear cut, how you tying your hair in a knot? Come on, bro. Come on now. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Nah, this ain't gonna work. I have to deal with this. Okay. But anyway, let's continue.
Dive into the surveillance footage. After this, the two separated. Majors went to an Upper East Side hotel, and Jabari went to a nightclub called Lucy's, which is spelled Loosie''S. And phone records show that Jonathan Majors, not too long after he went to the hotel, sent her a breakup text before turning off his phone. But perhaps the most important part of all of this is the footage obtained by Jonathan Majors' team of Jabari in that nightclub minutes after the fight took place, and for hours she stays there with no apparent signs of being hurt whatsoever. In fact, the footage shows her using her right hand many times, walking up the stairs as we can see here, and then in some other footage, as you can see here, she goes up to the DJ and he grabs her by the hand, and she has no signs of being hurt. So video footage shows her completely fine, partying immediately after this alleged assault. And then to top it all off, there is another witness, because eventually Majors did go home to his penthouse apartment, and apparently one of the doors inside his apartment was locked, so he called the handyman to open the bedroom door. Once he came in and opened the door, Majors and the handyman found Jabari half naked and passed out on the floor of a walk-in closet. And the handyman is prepared to testify that this actually happened in court. And Majors is the one who actually called 911 at this point in time, in which he was then arrested. Also, they say that police body camera surveillance footage does show when Jabari is alone with one officer, her looking down at her hand going, "What happened to my finger?" showing that that was the first time that she actually noticed her finger was hurt. And this was after they had already taken Majors away. So this is all pretty damning evidence that Jonathan Majors is innocent. Of course, we have to wait till the official court ruling, but we do see the video surveillance here of Jabari seemingly being fine and uninjured, and all of the evidence that they have said they have submitted to the court. That is a lot in Jonathan Majors' favor, plus not to mention several witnesses that he has are ready to testify on his behalf, including the driver, who said that Jonathan Majors never raised a hand or even his voice, and according to the victim, the assault happened in the car, and the driver can testify, no it didn't. Plus the video footage of him trying to leave the car, her trying to pull him back in, and then him eventually walking away. So hopefully this is good news. Hopefully he really is innocent, and this evidence does prove that in court, and hopefully he can continue to play Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his career can get back on track.
So you heard everything. The Cosmic once again, shout out to big respect to the Cosmic Wonder, because that was really comprehensive. It was really organized, and I felt like he was fair. First of all, I won't go as far as to say that Jonathan Majors is completely innocent. And even if he is, I still wouldn't even go as far as to say that he's going to be cleared of charges, because I thought what happened in that Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion case was pretty clear cut, that they could not prove that he's absolutely the one who fired that gun, but they still found a way to convict him. And so when it comes to these liberal states, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like it's an uphill battle, even for Jonathan Majors, when it comes to this evidence. However, man, if all of that evidence, if they really do have all that evidence, how the fuck can you convince him? Convict him of these charges? This shouldn't even be going to trial. To me, this is almost as clear cut as that Travis Rudolph case. I'm pretty sure y'all are y'all familiar with the Travis Rudolph case? For those of you who are here, he just beat his murder case after his girlfriend. Here's the thing, bro. Y'all really got to be careful with these women out here, dog. Y'all really have to be careful, because these girls, these especially these Western, these American women, they are evil, dog. They are evil. And we about to get into another one. We about to get into another one after this. That's just it's pure evil out here. These women are evil. They don't give a fuck about accountability. They don't care about nobody but themselves, bro. Oh, I'm about to die. But these women, bro, they're evil. You got to be careful. You saw with Travis Rudolph. You saw with Johnny Depp. You saw with you're seeing it with Jonathan Majors. Man, these women do not care, dog. And I'm not saying that like she like I don't think that she was trying to be malicious. Nah, fuck that. You're a grown ass adult. All you had to do is I don't know, bro. I don't know what her motive is because on one end she sounds like she's on Jonathan Major's side, but like why would you make that accusation? I don't know. We have to hear more from her. I don't want to condemn, but like the point is, even if it's not her being evil, these people know that they can use women against you to take you down, dog. You gotta be careful with these women. They need to be signing NDAs. It needs to be me. If I was a celebrity, I'm having legal representation there every single time when a woman's involved. I'm having legal representation. I need witnesses. I need witnesses. Period. Every time. So hopefully Jonathan Majors can beat this case and he can get back to being. Oh, and before we move on from Jonathan Majors, a rare W for Disney, because while everybody else dropped Jonathan Majors, Disney has stood by them. Now, does that mean because Disney's smart and they're good people? No, it's they've learned from the Johnny Depp situation. Right now, they want to make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but they can't because they're figuring out that the audience ain't going to go watch it without Johnny Depp. Period, and that's facts. And Johnny Depp don't want to come back and work with their ass because of how they treated him during that whole situation. He said, "Fuck Disney." Johnny Depp is happy in Europe during his little small time European movies. Don't give a fuck about Disney. So smart on them. They're not doing it because they're good people. They just learning their lesson from the Johnny Depp situation. And that's smart. So yeah, I mean, like, kudos to them for doing that while everybody else was dropping them. Who was it? I think it was the Marines that dropped him from that commercial. It's a couple ads, like a couple magazines. Yeah, like y'all gonna learn. And when if he's clear to this situation, how long is it gonna be, ladies, before y'all accusations are just gonna mean absolutely dick? Reed says the same thing also happened to Marilyn Manson. Yep, Marilyn Manson is another one. He finally beat that case. That's another one. Where the woman came out and said, I don't know if she said she was forced. What was it, Reed? She wasn't forced. She said the girl was trying to get her to, I don't know. But it was a lie. It was a complete fucking lie. How much time I got? I got 15 minutes. So we're gonna get into another story here. I'm trying to
You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the crib, look like Dracula's mansion, my baby. When you pull up, it's on action, my baby.